Welcome to the Coaches Corner. Today we are featuring Southern Virginia University, located in Buena Vista, Virginia. It is known for its close-knit community of about 1,000 students, and the men's rugby program at SVU competes in the CRAA Division I Rugby East Conference. Leading the program is head coach Paul Lasike. Welcome, Coach Lasike.
Thanks for having me, Melanie.
It's great to have you with us. Let's get started and dive right in. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, please?
My name is Paul Lasike. I was born and raised in New Zealand. I've lived here in the US for about 12 years all up. Went to high school in New Zealand, moved over to the US for my senior year of high school, and then I proceeded to go to BYU. Finished up my time there. Played a little bit of American football, as well as some rugby. Just finished up my rugby career, most recently in Utah, and then just got out here to SVU in July. So it's really good to be here.
Great. And tell me about your rugby program. You're new to it, but it's not new to SVU, right?
Yeah, so yes, the program is 6 years old. It was established in 2019 by Coach David Smith. He coached at BYU for many years. And then, yeah, I just got on board in the summer of this year. And so just finished up my first full semester.
What is the biggest change for you from professional rugby to college rugby?
Um, yeah, there's been quite a few changes actually. It's just really different being on this side, being a coach, trying to manage players when literally 6 months ago I was a player listening to my coach. But yeah, there's been a lot of adjustments and I'd say the biggest change actually or surprise is there hasn't been a ton of coaching actually. There's been coaching, but a lot of it's been administration work, trying to figure out recruiting, getting a structure here at the program. And so there's been a lot of on the computer figuring that stuff out, scheduling. There's only two of us, me and my assistant Aiden, and so we're trying to literally run a whole program from top to bottom, which, you think of a coach, you might think of just the guy being out on the field. But yeah, we got to run everything from figuring out our schedule, getting our vans and our buses sorted, all of that sort of stuff, trying to figure out the recruiting. So it's been a big change and but it's been tough but good.
I'm sure it's a big difference. You're not focused on your boots, but you're focused on your keyboard, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, so if we talk about your program a bit, in the summertime, when do your players report to school? And then once they're there, what does a typical rugby week look like for you? When do they train? When do they lift? When do they play? How does that work?
Yeah, yeah. So the boys will report here usually a couple weeks before the start of school. So this year I think it was like August, the middle of August sometime, because then school started the beginning of September. But yeah, so they'll come here for a couple weeks of preseason, and then we jump straight into after the preseason, we pretty much jump straight into our season. And like you mentioned, we play in the Rugby East, so it's a really tough, good conference. Um, with the likes of Navy, Army, Life, Mary Washington, Penn State, the Mount. So it's really good to face tough opponents each weekend and week out. But if you mind, do you mind if I share what a typical week might look like?
That would be great.
Um, Sweet. Uh, so I kind of have it pulled up, but yeah, this is a typical home game week. So you'll see there the Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday mornings. The boys will have gym. They have class throughout the day, as you see there. And on Mondays, that's a little bit different, but they'll have film. We have film, which is a review from the previous game and then a preview for the upcoming game. Then we have an install. Tuesday and Thursdays, those are our big sort of training weeks. Tuesday is focused on defense. Thursday there is focused on attack. Uh, the boys will then have study hall on Tuesday, Thursdays. And then, typical Friday session of a captain's run, dinner, and then we have a jersey presentation. And then obviously game day on Saturday. So that's what a typical week will look like. Um, If we look at our training schedule, like I mentioned, these are our training blocks here. So Thursday is focused on attack there, and then the Tuesday session is focused on defense. But everything's kind of set up to look like a. Sorry, I'll stop sharing. But everything there is done for a reason, so that everything is structured. There's organization, and we can hold the boys accountable to the culture that we're trying to create. And so,
Fantastic.
yeah, that's what a typical. It's pretty full on. It's pretty full on. Let's put it that way.
When you have away games, how far do you typically travel and how do you get there?
Yeah, so our two furthest games is Army, that's up north in New York, and then down in Georgia we have Life, Atlanta, Georgia, and so we're kind of actually right in the middle, which is nice. It's about 6.5 to 7 hours each way. So we were at Army this year, and that was our furthest game. So yeah, we'll typically leave on the Friday morning. Um, we'll travel through that Friday, get there, Friday afternoon, Friday evening, stay the hotel, and then we play the following day. And then the brutal part is right after the game, then we jump back in either the bus or the vans, and then we head back down to campus. But it's part of the experience is, just being around each other. So it's really cool, like our travel days with the boys and just getting stuck into it.
Absolutely. And when you have travel to the games, are the boys expected to contribute to that financially, or is that covered by the team?
No, that's covered by the team. So the really nice part about our program is we're part of athletics, so we have a budget allotted for that, so the boys don't, need to pay out anything out of pocket for the season. It's all covered. Their kit, their travel, and all of that sort of stuff.
That's great. And from a cost perspective, since we're on that topic, does Southern Virginia offer academic scholarships, rugby scholarships? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. So yes, we do. The answer to that is yes. We do offer academic scholarships depending on their GPA and their SAT scores coming out of high school. It can range anywhere from, if you're coming in with a low GPA of 2.0, anywhere from 2,000 all the way up to around $8,000 in scholarship aid. That's the first big aid that goes towards, your tuition, housing, and your food. The other thing will be FAFSA. So most of the, if you're a US citizen, you'll be able to apply for Pell Grants and things like that. And that's depending on their situation, varies between, 4,000 up to 7,000. Um, and then we actually just started a Rugby Excellence Scholarship here. And that ranges from 500 to $2,000. It's just a partial scholarship aid. Um, and then those are the three biggest sort of aids that go towards players' costs here. And I'll probably say the lower end players or student athletes are paying anywhere from 6,000 up to as high as, 9 to 9,500 per semester. Uh, and the thing that obviously varies that big, that range, that scale range is their GPAs coming in, and then the Rugby Excellence Scholarship, and then obviously their Pell Grants and stuff like that. There are additional scholarship aids available for LDS members. This is a private Christian school, so we align with we have Christian values that align with the LDS faith, and there are additional incentives or scholarships for LDS kids looking to come here, and that's if they graduate seminary and if they graduate or if they serve a mission, there's additional scholarship aid there. 1,000 for mission for a seminary graduate and 2,000 for a return missionary. So that's kind of how it breaks down. And uh, I always tell the boys it's they're investing in their education as well. So it is a lot of money to come here, but it is competitive with what you might expect at another top program in the country. So for what you're getting, a great education, great rugby, great coaching. And, if you come out with a degree, then that's ultimately your biggest purchase there for what you're paying. So,
Terrific. When you are talking to recruits, what do you look for in a top recruit? And on the other hand, what do you consider a red flag?
um, a top recruit, I get asked that question from, what are you looking for as me in a back or a forward? But my biggest thing is obviously their work rate, their attitude, effort, and intent. So those three big things of, are they coachable? Those are the things that I'm looking for. Um, and then other things, obviously another big thing is their GPA as well. I want guys that are going to be able to do well in the classroom. And then on the other side, a red flag is usually their GPA as well. I won't say it's a big red flag because that's not always lines up with how that person actually is. I know everyone's academics vary, but uh, knowing about the finances and the academic aid scholarships that people get, we usually try and go after guys that have decent GPAs because we know it's ultimately going to help them. Um, but yeah, red flags, I don't really have any to be honest, like other than that. Just because these are young men that we're looking at. And so I've had some players that have come in literally this year with me that didn't have the best GPA, that didn't have the best background, they didn't have the best, really anything. But they've flourished this semester because of, like I said, the culture that we're trying to create here. We're keeping them accountable. We're making sure that they're on top of stuff. And me as a coach, it's not just about the rugby, I'm trying to develop these young men. So, when it comes to red flags, it's like, there's obviously better players to recruit than others, but no one's going to be like, I'm not looking at you because of X, Y, and Z.
Sure. So the autumn series of games has just finished. Do you play in both the fall and the spring? Do you play sevens? Do you play, how does that work?
Yeah, yeah, we do. So we play in the Rugby East. That's our main conference, which is held in the fall. If you're ranked in that, then you'll probably carry on in the spring. That'll help you develop for playoffs because everyone, the playoffs are in April. But with us not being ranked in our conference, as of yet, I'll say, but we do try and prep games in the spring so that we have some games lined up for the boys, even if it's, three or four. This coming spring, actually, we have a pretty full-on semester with both sevens and 15s. Um, but yeah, it's technically considered a developmental season for our conference because we're not in our conference season. But if you're ranked, such as Life, Army, Navy, well, pretty much everyone else in our conference, they will want to hold really good games to prepare them for the playoffs in April. But for us, I'll always try and schedule another season for us, even if it's a partial season, so that these boys can play some rugby, play some sevens, and have something to look forward to.
And how many boys do you have on your roster?
So we currently have 24 this fall. We struggled with numbers. It was a tough season for us just because we didn't have many coming back from last year. We're hoping to change things, to help with, retention is a really big focus for us. And if we're able to retain these boys that we have, I think we'll have a really good shot going into next fall. So that's a big focus for us. But yeah, we had 24 currently. But like within that 24, we had, a couple boys that were season-ending injuries and then some other off-field issues that made a couple boys ineligible. Like I said, we're trying to change all of that stuff, but yeah, we had 24.
But it sounds that like with 24 people on the roster, that if you're a freshman and you want game time, that there's game time to be had.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. And that's the thing is it's come one, come all at the moment because ultimately there's no biases. Well, even my philosophy as a coach, no one's locked in their position. So that's why I say if you're willing to come here, you have a great work rate, you're coachable. I can work with that, and you will get game time. So, yeah.
Great. So what are your goals for next season, for the next academic year?
My goals is to win at least two games. For the last X amount of seasons, we haven't won a game in our conference, and like I said, we're a young program. We're only 6 years old, so coming into a really tough conference. But I think we're at the position now. We lost two of our games within one position, this year. And so if we can get a couple wins under our belt, I think first and foremost, like that, me as a competitor, that's what I want to do, in terms of wins and losses. But we want to just continue to develop. A big part of our program is recruiting. So we want to get enough guys here. I'm looking at around 30 to 32. Like that's what I want to try and aim for because then it's enough you can run 15 on 15 at practice, but it's not so many to where, guys are feeling left out because of no game time or whatnot. But yeah, so those are our couple goals for the next year.
Okay. Academically speaking, what is SVU known for?
Um, SVU is a private, it's a liberal arts school. To be honest, I have no idea what that is, but I know with it being a smaller and younger school, we don't offer everything, but what we do offer is we offer like the business classes, business and administration. We have a new sports performance major. Uh, we have, some of the theater arts and philosophies and all of those kind of that field. Um, but yeah, with it, we don't offer everything. And I know the school is takes pride on just valuing like the student coming in, doing whatever they want to do, really. Um, but yeah, you kind of caught me off guard. I don't really know what it's super known for education wise. But you're going to get a solid education is what I do know.
Great. And what do you think, as you're relatively new to the school, what do you think the best things are about the college and the campus?
Yeah. First and foremost, it is beautiful here. I don't know if you've been in this part of the world, but yeah, we're right up against the Appalachian Mountains. It's beautiful in the spring, summer, and fall. Um, it's a small campus, so it's a really close-knit school. Some people might like that, some people may not like that. I think that's a positive because the teacher to student ratio is very low. So per teacher, you might only have 18 to 25 students in your class. So when it comes to like a learning perspective, that's a really great positive. Another positive about our program is we're part of athletics. So, we have our designated facilities, we have our gym, we have a strength and conditioning coach. All of that stuff is part of our program's, budget and expense. And then yeah, genuinely, I think I'll back myself as a head coach. I feel like, if you're coming in, you're gonna get great coaching from me and my assistant. And we just want you to have we want players and recruits to have a great overall experience, not just rugby. So but yeah, those are some of the positives about our beautiful campus.
Great. One last question. Can you tell me a little bit or paint a picture of what Buena Vista is like and also because you're located between Roanoke and Charlottesville, what those cities are like?
Yeah, it's a nice small town here. Um, the next town over or next city over is called Lexington. That's about 10 minutes from here. That's considered a fancy area where they have a Walmart and they have a Chick-fil-A and other nicer restaurants. But yeah, it's really convenient because you're out of that busy lifestyle of like a massive city. It's different for us at least coming from Salt Lake City. But you're 50 minutes from Roanoke, which is a really big city, so that's got everything you need in terms of, Sam's Club, other big stores and things. And also Charlottesville, which is just about an hour up the road, which are two really good cities, if you need that feel or that vibe. But yeah, it's a really cozy town here. We did get some snow this winter, which was surprising. We thought we got away from the snow leaving Utah, but it does snow here. But yeah, no, it's a good place. It's a really good, close knit community.
Great. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today and sharing your program. And I can't wait to watch and see how it grows and develops and flourishes under your leadership.
No, thank you. Cheers, Mel.